G'day guys, PIGaming here, and welcome to my review of the FCM 50T, a French Tier 8 Premium Heavy. This heavy is strange. It goes against its French morals, but it still has some of them. It keeps its traditions from the French by very, very good speed. Fantastic traverse speed, whether that's turret traverse or track traverse. And it stays with its 90mm gun, but it goes against it. And how do you ask? Well, 1500 hit points. Wow. The Tiger 2, yeah, Tiger 2 is 1500 hit points. That's interesting. The T32, 1400 hit points. Okay. Yeah, well, we all know about the AMX 5100, 1400 hit points, but that's to be expected. IS-3, 1450 hit points. So in fact, this tank has 50 more hit points than an IS-3. Not than a KV-4. KV-4 has 100 more hit points, but that's just a freakishly well armored tank. It's got more than its French brother, the AMX 5100, or sister if you want to put it like that. It's got the same amount as a Tiger 2, which has fantastic armor, and it's got 100 more hit points than a T32. What? Wow. I'm in complete amazement of, this tank. It goes against its French name, which is bad health, poor armor, but it does keep with its insanely fast speeds. This thing weighs 55 tons. It weighs 5 more tons than its sibling, the AMX 5100. And it's got a 1000 horsepower engine. 1000 horsepower engine. 850 horsepower engine. 1000 horsepower engine. This thing will reach its speed limit no problems, going on flat. It is that fast, and its acceleration is amazing. Its power to weight ratio is 18.44. That's more than you see on a Tier 8 medium, or I'm not sure if it's Tier 8 medium of German, but it's incredible. It's hard to process in my small head that you can go that fast and have that good of a power to weight ratio in a Tier 8 heavy tank. But here is where it meets up with its French traditions. It's not as bad as its AMX 5100, but its armor is not so great. You can see here that its stats are 120mm for the front, 80mm for the sides, 80mm for the rear. That's not bad, but it's not great. You have a Tier 6 shooting at this, unless they aim for this weak spot here. You're going to get a few bounces, which is different in a French Tier 8 heavy. Well, it's very different compared to this with 90mm of armor. I mean, that's another story. That's a very frustrating tank for me to drive. I know people who get really good scores in that. But this tank, it's average armor. Tier 6, they're going to bounce. Tier 7, they have, if they're far enough distance, they have a good chance of bouncing, because it's hard to hit it. It's hard to aim and hit a weak spot from a far distance. But then the Tier 8s, yeah, no worries at all. I mean, what's this armor slope? It's 20-30 degrees. You get effective armor of 150mm if you're lucky. Yeah, IS-3, no problems. AMX 5100 with its 100mm. Yeah, Tier 8s, no problem. Aim for the front. Tier 6, aim for the bottom. Tier 7, try your luck. Just try your luck. You can try and aim for the bottom, but that lower glacis is it's hard. It's hard to hit. This tank is quite low profile. Shooting from the side. The side hull armor and the side turret armor are not bad. 80 millimeters. I mean, if you're gonna aim anywhere for a tank, I generally aim for the sides or the rear. Don't like to go for the front because you have to aim quite hard with many tanks to penetrate and not bounce or ricochet. If you're gonna shoot this tank, shoot it in between the tracks. Do not shoot the tracks, because these tracks, they love to eat up your shells and make you very frustrated. I've shot multiple times at these tanks, and if you shoot at its tracks, you're not going to get anywhere. So shoot here, aim for here. Try not to hit this. I've had lots of bounces, believe it or not. Not here, because if it bounces, it just goes straight into the turret. Here, I've had lots of bounces. So try to avoid it. I mean, it's not very thick, but you'd be surprised. I've been surprised. Yeah, just you could shoot at the side of this. It's where my crew is, the FCM 50's crew is. You'll do a lot of damage. Generally works. Goes in here, comes out here, and kills 2 crew members in the process, which can be very frustrating. So yeah, don't shoot at the tracks basically, and try not to shoot at this area here. At the rear, now you got to be pretty careful at the rear. The rear has quite good sloping. It's not fantastic, but I've had a couple of bounces for tanks that have managed to get behind me, which is very difficult considering this has a 40-degree traverse speed and an 18.44 power to weight ratio. I mean, it's incredible. Yeah, just if you can shoot the back of the turret, that's your best bet. Because if you're a low profile tank, such as like let's say a Russian medium, you can bounce quite a few shots off this. So that's armor. Let's talk about the gun. The gun is good, but it's different. It's the 90mm DCA 45 that we start to see on the ARL 44, or is it? Because if you have a look, it's only compatible with the FCM 50T. But if you have a look at the French, even let's talk about the AMX, or we'll talk about the Tier 8 version of the gun, even though it's autoloader. I get it, the DCA 45. Well, it's not compatible, so it's strange. It's the same gun, same name, gun 90mm DCA 45, but it's only compatible with the FCM 50T, and this is only compatible from the ARL 44 all the way up to the AMX 5120, the Tier 9 heavy. So how's it different? This thing has an insane rate of fire. 8 rounds per minute, 100% crew skill. I'm generally getting, I think it's like 7-second reload. I mean, it's not insane, but for a heavy tier 8, it's pretty damn good. Don't need to worry about the complete time of loading. That's autoloaders, of course. It's got very good accuracy. Very good accuracy, 0.36. Penetration is good. Damage it's got poor alpha damage, but that is made up by its rate of fire, which is high. Here is where they become extraordinarily different. This has an okay aiming time of 2.3 seconds. Well, I say okay, it's pretty good. It's much better than the 3 seconds that you get on the AMX 5100. But then again, if you've driven French tanks, you've come to know and love the 3-second aiming time that the guns, or just so many guns, have. It's frustrating, but unlike the AMX 5100, I suppose it's made up for its accuracy. But on this, its accuracy is so good, its aiming time is pretty good. Rate of fire is excellent. So the gun is very good. Um, radio, yeah, radio is 750 signal range. The 400 meter view range, very good. Signal range is that's average. I mean that's normal. I can't say it's average. It's just normal. 400 meter view range. That's good. That's very good. Um, but you'll need it. Let's just get on to the traverse speed. Traverse speed is fantastic. 36 degrees per second. I mean, um, the traverse, the speed, the maneuverability of this tank is incredible. Incredible. Um, but here we come to the 400 meter view range. Now that's good, but for this tank, it needs to be 600 meters because this tank, you will get spotted before you spot someone else. It has one of the worst camera ratings in the game. Why, you ask? Well, it looks okay. It looks average size, nice camouflage on it. Well, that's obviously premium. Well, not premium. Well, it's premium for me. But why would you need a 600 meter view range on this thing? Well, next to me I have the TOG. Let's look at this size compared to the TOG size. Yep. The TOG is an 81-ton vehicle, tier 6. Oh my god, this thing is huge. When I compare it to my Foch in length, it's probably longer than my Foch, and my Foch, that's a very long tank. Yeah. This thing, I've been on other sides of the map. I've been spotted out of nowhere. I got Sixth Sense. Just forget all the other crew skills. They were stupid decisions, but Sixth Sense. I get spotted, and I'm on the other side of a map, and I'm thinking, what the hell? This thing it does not have camo. Do not rely on this camo, which is why the maneuverability of this tank is somewhat unnecessary. I say unnecessary because you can't brawl in this tank. You can take a lot of hits, yes, but you can't just go up and be in the front line. You'll die. This thing it does not have the armor. Even though it has selective matchmaking, tier 9 is the highest game it will see if you're not platooning. With something like a tier 8 that does not have selective matchmaking, and you have to stay back and snipe. If you don't, you die. It's pretty simple. The one upside is that you can get to those sniping spots faster than another tank, such as, the Foch is fast, but if we're comparing it to the Foch is a sniping tank, I use it as a sniping tank, and yeah, this would probably just get to those spots faster and can relocate much faster. You have to use this as if you want to do well, you need to stay back. You can't just be like YOLO, go into the center of a field. You'll die. I suppose that's true with every tank, but Tiger 2, you go head on with an IS-3, you have a chance. This thing, no, you have to stay back and shoot at it, and then you have a chance. That's pretty much it. I suppose if you want to look at the modules I've put on it, I've put on vertical stabilizer and gun rammer. That you need them. You don't have them, you're at a disadvantage. The vertical stabilizer, as you'll see in the replay I show you of this tank I had just before I did this review, is necessary. I just put it on. I haven't played with it, but going off my last game and the replay you're about to see, you need it. Gun rammer is also pretty damn necessary. You want to play to the strengths of this tank, which is its gun. Its rate of fire is incredible for a tier 8 heavy, and you want to play to the strengths and improve ventilation class 3. I have this on. I try to put this on all my tanks. It's good as that's the best way to explain it. If you don't have it, it increases all your skills, increases speed, increases reload time, increases accuracy, reticle,